Christians, this person says, stop spreading false messages. I got one thing to say to people like this. You don't have to listen. And if you're not listening, then it's not being spread to you. Now, you quote John 3:16 and verse 17. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what point you're trying to make. But while we're on this verse of John 3:16, let's talk a little bit about what it is. Jesus said that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe in him shall never perish but have everlasting life. We know this. And this is taken mistakenly by the majority of the Christian church today to mean that God loves all single men without exception. And that is not what that verse is saying. Jesus is not saying in that verse that God loves every single person without exception when he says God so loved the world. He is telling the Jewish people of his day who believed that only they were God's people, that only they were God's chosen people and elect people. Jesus came to clarify that and said, no, God does not just love Jews and Israel. God loves Gentiles, and he also loves sheep that come from another fold. In other words, Christ is saying that God loves all people without distinction. You take it to mean that he loves all people without exception, and that is not true. That's not what Jesus was saying. He was saying that God loves all mankind without distinction. In other words, his chosen race of people will be a people comprised of men of all nations, tongues, and kindreds. So if that is the false message, then I will keep preaching it. And you will keep listening to it and hearing it until you decide to stop. Be provoked and be persuaded.